including after Trump took office, finally expiring in September 2017. After being in contact with Page for 14 months, Halper stopped contact exactly as the final FISA warrant on Page expired. Page, who had steadfastly maintained his innocence, was never charged with any crime by the FBI. Efforts for the declassification of the Page FISA application are currently ongoing through the DOJ's Office of the Inspector General. Next up, Peter Strzok and Lisa Page. Peter Strzok and Lisa Page were two prominent members of the FBI's Insurance Policy Group. Strzok, a senior FBI agent, was the Deputy Assistant Director of the FBI's Counterintelligence Division. Lisa Page, an FBI lawyer, served as special counsel to FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe. Strzok was in charge of the investigation into Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server for government business. He helped FBI Director James Comey draft the statement exonerating Clinton and was personally responsible for changing specific wording within the statement that reduced Clinton's legal liability. Specifically, Strzok changed the words grossly negligent, which could be a criminal offence, to extremely careless. Strzok also personally led the FBI's counterintelligence investigation into the alleged Trump-Russia collusion and signed the documents that opened the investigation on July 31, 2016. He was one of the FBI agents who interviewed Trump's national security advisor, General Michael Flynn. Strzok met multiple times with DOJ official Bruce Orr and received information from Steele at those meetings. Following the firing of FBI Director James Comey, Strzok would also join the team of Special Counsel Robert Mueller. 2 months later, he was removed from that team after the DOJ Inspector General discovered a lengthy series of texts between Strzok and Page that contained politically charged messages. Strzok would be fired from the FBI in August 2018. Both Strzok and Page engaged in strategic leaking to the press. Page did so at the direction of McCabe, who directly authorized Page to share information with Wall Street Journal reporter Devlin Barrett. That information was used in an October 30, 2016 article headlined, "FBI in Internal Feud Over Hillary Clinton Probe." Page leaked to Barrett thinking she had been granted legal and official authorization to do so. McCabe would later initially deny providing such authorization to the Office of Inspector General. Page, when confronted with McCabe's denials, produced texts refuting his statement. It was these texts that led to the Inspector General uncovering the texts between Strzok and Page. The two exchanged thousands of texts, some of them indicating surveillance activities over a 2-year period. Texts sent between August 21, 2015 and June 25, 2017 have been made public. The series comes to an end with a final text by Page telling Strzok, "Don't ever text me again." On August 8, 2016, Strzok wrote that they would prevent candidate Trump from becoming president. Trump is not ever going to become president, right? Right? Strzok, no, he won't. We'll stop it. On August 15, 2016, Strzok sent a text referring to an insurance policy. "I want to believe the path you threw out for consideration in Andy's office, that there's no way Trump gets elected, but I'm afraid we can't take that risk. It's like an insurance policy in the unlikely event you die before you're 40. The insurance policy appears to have been the effort to legitimize the Trump-Russia collusion narrative so that an FBI investigation led by McCabe could continue unhindered." Next up, the Department of Justice. The Department of Justice, which comprises 60 agencies, was transformed during the Obama years. The department is forbidden by federal law from hiring employees based on political affiliation. However, a series of investigative articles by PJ Media published during Eric Holder's tenure as Attorney General revealed an unsettling pattern of ideological conformity among new hires at the DOJ. only lawyers from the progressive left were hired. Not one single moderate or conservative lawyer made the cut. This is significant as the DOJ enjoys significant latitude in determining who will be subject to prosecution. The DOJ's job in Spygate was to facilitate the legal side of surveillance while providing a protective layer of cover for all those involved. The department became a repository of information and provided a protective wall between the investigative efforts of the FBI and the legislative branch. Importantly, it also served as the firewall within the executive branch, serving as the insulating barrier between the FBI and Obama officials. The department had become legendary for its stonewalling tactics with Congress. The DOJ, which was fully aware of the actions being taken by James Comey and the FBI, also became an active element acting against members of the Trump campaign. Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates, along with Mary McCord, the head of the DOJ's National Security Division, was actively involved in efforts to remove General Michael Flynn from his position as National Security Advisor to President Trump. To this day, it remains unknown which individual was responsible for making public Flynn's call with the Russian ambassador. Flynn ultimately pleaded guilty to a process crime, lying to the FBI. There have been questions raised in Congress regarding the possible alteration of FD 302s, the written notes of Flynn's FBI interviews. Special counsel Robert Mueller has repeatedly deferred Flynn's sentencing hearing. David Luffman, Deputy Assistant Attorney General in charge of counterintelligence at the DOJ's National Security Division, played a key role in both the Clinton email server and Russian hacking investigations. Luffman is currently the attorney for Monica McLean, the longtime friend of Christine Blasey Ford, who recently accused Judge Brett Kavanaugh of sexually assaulting her while in high school. McLean was also employed by the FBI for 24 years. Bruce Orr was a significant DOJ official who played a key role in Spygate. Orr held two important positions at the DOJ, Associate Deputy Attorney General and Director of the Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force. As Associate Deputy Attorney General, Orr was just 4 offices away from then Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates, and he reported directly to her. As Director of the task force, he was in charge of a program described as the centerpiece of the Attorney General's drug strategy. Or one of the highest-ranking officials in the DOJ was communicating on an ongoing basis with Steele, whom he had known since at least 2006, well into mid-2017. He is also married to Nellie Orr, an expert on Russia and Eurasia, who began working for Fusion GPS sometime in late 2015. Nellie Orr likely played a significant role in the construction of the dossier. According to testimony from FBI agent Peter Strzok, he and Orr met at least 5 times during 2016 and 2017. Strzok was working directly with then Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe. Additionally, Orr met with the FBI at least 12 times between late November 2016 and May 2017 for a series of interviews. These meetings could have been used to transmit information from Steele to the FBI. This came after the FBI had formally severed contact with Steele in late October or early November 2016. John Carlin is another notable figure with the DOJ. Carlin was an Assistant Attorney General and the head of the DOJ's National Security Division until October 2016. His role will be discussed in Part 2 of this 2-part series. Next up, the battle between Rosenstein and McCabe. Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe held a pivotal role in what has become known as Spygate. He directed the activities of Peter Strzok and Lisa Page and was involved in all aspects of the Russia investigation. He was also mentioned in the infamous insurance policy text message. McCabe was a major component of the insurance policy. On April 26, 2017, Rosenstein found himself appointed as the new Deputy Attorney General. He was placed into a somewhat chaotic situation, as Attorney General Jeff Sessions had recused himself from the ongoing Russia investigation a little less than 2 months earlier. This effectively meant that no one in the Trump administration had any oversight of the ongoing investigation being conducted by the FBI and the DOJ. Additionally, the leadership of then FBI Director James Comey was coming under increased scrutiny as the results of actions taken leading up to and following the election, particularly Comey's handling of the Clinton email investigation. On May 9, 2017, Rosenstein wrote a memorandum recommending that Comey be fired. The subject of the memo was restoring public confidence in the FBI. Comey was fired that day. McCabe was now the acting director of the FBI and was immediately under consideration for the permanent position. On the same day Comey was fired, McCabe would lie during an interview with agents from the FBI's Inspection Division regarding apparent leaks that were used in an October 30, 2016 Wall Street Journal article, FBI in Internal Feud Over Hillary Clinton Probe, by Devlin Barrett. This would later be disclosed in the Inspector General's report, a report of investigation of certain allegations relating to former Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe. At this time, nobody, including the FBI's Inspection Division agents, knew that McCabe had lied, nor were the darker aspects of McCabe's role in Spygate fully known. In late April or early May 2016, McCabe opened a federal criminal investigation on Sessions regarding potential lack of candor before Congress in relation to Sessions' contacts with Russians. Sessions was unaware of the investigation. Sessions would later be cleared of any wrongdoing by Special Counsel Robert Mueller. On the morning of May 16, 2017, Rosenstein reportedly suggested to McCabe that he secretly record President Trump. This remark was reported in a New York Times article that was sourced from memos from the now-fired McCabe, along with testimony taken from former FBI General Counsel James Baker, who relayed a conversation he had with McCabe about the occurrence. Rosenstein issued a statement denying the accusations. The alleged comments by Rosenstein occurred at a meeting where McCabe was pushing for the Justice Department to open an investigation into the president. An unnamed participant at the meeting, in comments to the Washington Post, framed the conversation somewhat differently, noting Rosenstein responded sarcastically to McCabe saying, "What do you want to do, Andy? Wire the president?" Later, on the same day that Rosenstein had meetings with McCabe, President Trump met Mueller, reportedly as an interview for the FBI director job. The May 17th appointment of Mueller, in effect, shifted control of the Russia investigation from the FBI and McCabe to Mueller. Rosenstein would retain ultimate authority for the probe, and any expansion of Mueller's investigation required authorization from Rosenstein. Interestingly, without Comey's memo leaks, a special counsel might not have been appointed. The FBI and possibly McCabe would have remained in charge of the Russian investigation. McCabe was probably not going to become the permanent FBI director, but he was reportedly under consideration. Regardless, without Comey's leak, McCabe would have retained direct involvement and the FBI would have retained control. On July 28, 2017, McCabe lied to Inspector General Michael Horowitz while under oath regarding authorization of the leaking to the Wall Street Journal. At this point, Horowitz knew McCabe was lying but did not yet know of the May 9th Inspection Division interview with McCabe. On August 2, 2017, Rosenstein secretly issued Mueller a revised memo on the scope of the investigation and definition of authority that remains heavily redacted. The full purpose of this memo remains unknown. On this same day, Christopher Wray was named as the new FBI director. 2 days later, on August 4, 2017, Sessions announced that the FBI had created a new leaks investigation unit. Rosenstein and Wray were tasked with overseeing all leak investigations. That August 2nd memo from Rosenstein to Mueller may have been specifically designed to remove any residual FBI influence, specifically that of McCabe, from the Russia investigation. The appointment of Wray as FBI director helped cement this. McCabe was finally completely neutralized. On May 16, 2018, McCabe was fired for lying under oath at least 3 different times and is currently the subject of a grand jury investigation. And finally, the State Department. The State Department, with its many contacts within foreign governments, became a conduit for the flow of information. The transfer of Christopher Steele's first dossier memo was personally facilitated by Victoria Nuland, the Assistant Secretary of State for European and Eurasian Affairs. Nuland gave approval for FBI agents